What's up, YouTube? Winterguard here. Today we're going to get into something that's been brought up a few times. I'm not sure if this is the best way to do it. I kind of threw something together, and it's at least a good place to start, and maybe we can expound on it further with some other ideas maybe. Basically, I'm going to compare efficiency between areas as far as Magic Find. So I'm kind of going to group them up. I'm going to do Andariel versus Mephisto first because they kind of run the same. You have to, teleport through levels before you get to the actual boss to kill. The time frame, they probably run pretty close to the same. I think Andy will probably be a little quicker overall, but we're going to run each for an hour, and we're going to kind of do a breakdown on number of runs within that hour, how many total items, not necessarily good items, but a count of total set uniques in that same time frame. And if we get some good stuff, what I'll do is I'll show a compilation of decent drops or good drops as we run through both, and then I'll kind of do a breakdown on what we kind of learned from that. I mean, an hour per is pretty small sample size, so it's anecdotal, but we'll take that information and maybe see if we can build on that. I'll probably do that in a couple of other areas. I think Ancient Tunnels versus the Pits is probably a good comparison, and Diablo versus Baal is probably a good comparison. Now, this doesn't take into account loot tables as far as Andy and Mephisto. I know Mephisto probably has a couple more items that won't drop off of Andy, so it's not necessarily if you're looking for something specific. But say, for instance, if you were wanting a Shaco, they both drop off of either boss, so you can farm either one to try and get a Shaco to drop, that sort of thing. So we'll take a look at what we were able to do within an hour's time on both. Kind of break down number of runs, number of items that drop total, and if we get good drops between the two, we'll show those as well. So that's what we're going to do in this breakdown, and we're going to base it off of my Magic Find, which is 269. That's kind of mid-pack. Starter Sorks probably run well below that, and then there's the guys that are running 300 or 400% without switch. So we're kind of middle of the road with 270% Magic Find. The efficiency chart puts this probably in the 175 area. I'll pop the chart up, and you can kind of see the breakdown. It shows your return on investment of how much Magic Find versus the effectiveness of it. There's definitely diminishing returns after 400%. It really drops off. From 200 to 400, it starts to taper. The first 200% is probably the biggest gain. So at least shoot for 200% if you're going to Magic Find. But as you see, I'm at 269. We're going to run both for an hour and see how it shakes out. So that's going to be the gist of this video. If you have anything to add to that, let me know in the comments. If you like what I'm doing, give me a like and a subscribe. If you enjoy the video, join us on Discord. The link's in the description. A lot of people there now. A lot of knowledge regarding Diablo in the channel. A lot of opinions, of course. But we had our first big event the past weekend, and it was a lot of fun. We gave away a lot of items. I'll probably show some clips from that in the next video. I still need to gather up some of the clips from the other players that were involved so that I can kind of throw a little something together. And we also have the 1 hour Andariel challenge still sitting out there. I'm going to do another one up here pretty soon, but I wanted to let this one run for a little bit. We've had a few people already respond to that, which I appreciate. So let's go ahead and get into this video, and I will expound on a little bit more at the end, but let's get into the compilation first. Okay, we're just, I think, 3 minutes into this, about 3 minutes. This is the first item of note off Andy, and what we always like to see. Unique ring, but as per usual, she doesn't provide what I'm looking for, but we get a Dwarf Star, so right out of the gate, we at least get a unique ring drop. Okay, we're 11 minutes in, 11 and a half, and this kill, we get a Shaco. Always like to see that. Okay, we're getting towards the end of the Andy runs. This is 55 minutes in. And we get our second unique ring. And a double essence drop. And another Nagel, my 5,000th one off of Andy. Okay, so this video got corrupted, so I'll just show the still from this. This is the only thing of note from Mephisto. We got a triple unique drop at 53 minutes in, but we do get an Oculus. So at least we got one decent item off of Mephisto, and I think a lot of people will run into this on occasion, where you can grind Mephisto for a pretty good while, not really get any drops. Again, this doesn't necessarily just apply to Mephisto. This could be just about any Magic Find area where you'll just grind and not get anything. But 53 minutes in for an Oculus, that's not too bad. Okay, that was not too bad for those two runs. That was 2 hours total, and we got a Shaco out of one and an Oculus out of another. But I'm going to break down the numbers real quick. For Andariel, in 1 hour's time, I was able to get in 45 runs. And again, this is a total count of all uniques and sets that dropped. So I think that's the best basis for comparison, because RNG determines the item, but Magic Find has an effect on the uniqueness or set or rare or blue items. So that's where Magic Find will come into play. So I wanted to get a count total of what items dropped as unique or set. So for the 45 runs for Andariel, we got 47 sets and uniques. And for the 1 hour with Mephisto, which was 42 runs, I kind of figured that would be how it shook out. Mephisto is a little longer in total runtime. I think you could run Andariel just a little bit quicker, but it's not that much of a difference. 42 versus 45 runs in 1 hour is fairly close. And we had 48 set and uniques drop for Mephisto. So the numbers shake out pretty close to the same. Again, you could probably run Andy in a total hour's time a little bit quicker. And again, Mephisto has an advantage of probably dropping some items that Andariel will not drop. I believe the Arachnid's Mesh is an example of that, where you can get that off Mephisto but not Andariel. I'll double check that, of course, but I believe that to be the case. I'm sure there's other items that probably fall into that. But total numbers, I guess what it breaks down to is you run what you enjoy running. It is a game, so play it like you want to play it. It's not all about the hunt. I mean, granted, a great portion of Diablo is being able to find the stuff you want to find. I think the biggest draw to Diablo is I think they got the loot system absolutely perfect 20 years ago, and that's what keeps bringing people back. So, but again, this is all anecdotal. An hour's time is not anywhere near sample size that you could draw any information from. And to be perfectly honest, the way they have RNG set up in this game, I don't think you'll be able to draw any conclusions on where the best items drop. It's a matter of how fast you can kill stuff and who you can kill. Like I said, between Andy and Mephisto, there's a little bit of a difference between item drops as far as what kinds can drop. But you could probably kill Andy a little quicker, so draw whatever opinion you want from that. Again, this is all anecdotal. But, I mean, I think it was enjoyable to do it. Again, I'm going to probably do this and do the pits versus Ancient Tunnels, and then I'll probably do Baal versus Diablo. That's probably the only ones that kind of line up decently. As you can see, there's some other stuff here that wasn't from this run, but from Mephisto, we did get the Oculus. And from Andariel, I got a Shaco. So in 2 hours' time, I got, for a lot of Magic Find sorceresses, the two probably, I wouldn't say most sought after, but two key items that people normally try and get when they're building their they're magic find sorcerers. And you, again, you could get both of these off of Andariel. So if you prefer to run Andy, you could get both these items. If you prefer to run Meth, you could still get both these items. So draw whatever conclusions you want from that. Again, I'll just say it's whatever you enjoy doing. So we'll just leave it at that. Again, I'll probably put out one for the pits and ancient tunnels next, just to get a little side-by-side comparison, just to see how it shakes out. But we'll leave it there for now. If you guys enjoyed it, again, leave me a like and subscribe. Everyone have a great day. Keep on farming.